everybody, and welcome to a special edition of the Software Showcase. Now, this is not a replacement for the Software Showcase that's coming out this afternoon with Craig Oliver, but Matt and I had a topic that we thought was pretty important, and so we decided we were going to jump on it. This is just going to be a brief explanation about a security vulnerability that we want you to be aware of. So Matt Gerber, welcome to the studio today.
Thanks for having me, Mark.
Matt is our Director of Infrastructure, and as a part of that, he also manages our digital security. So Matt, if our viewers noticed last week, there was a pretty significant exploit that was found in Microsoft Exchange Server, which is a mail server, and it only affects on-premise Exchange servers. Now, we don't have one of those, do we?
We don't,
That's
fortunately.
Right. That's right. So initially we thought, well, this probably doesn't matter, nice to know, but not that important. But as we started paying more attention down track, I think we both came to the same conclusion that there are ways that this could be a problem for our users, and so we wanted to talk about that today.
Absolutely.
So Matt, tell us what happened.
All right, so what happened was one of the largest hacks in modern history. It's a really big deal. It was first discovered on January 3rd by some companies. They brought it to Microsoft's attention. Microsoft did some internal investigations, and they came out with a patch on March 2nd, which might seem like a long time, but it's actually not a long time for these size of things.
Yeah.
And so it allows hackers to basically take control of a mail server. And the reason that it's a big deal is they can then take control of the whole server, read all the emails, copy off all of the emails, send emails as if there's somebody, and probably get into other computers and servers within the network once they're in.
Yeah, and the reason this is a disaster, in case it's not obvious, is I think, we as a people, we assume that when we get an email from somebody and it's from their email address, we assume we can trust that email.
Yeah.
And what this means is, right now, again, this isn't WA's email server that we're concerned about, but emails that you could be receiving from people all over the world potentially are being sent, and it's not the person that you think it is sending it. They could be being sent by someone else with nefarious purpose, but they are going to look like they came from that person because they're coming from that person's server, which could have been exploited.
Yeah, this isn't even a case where you're going to see like a letter missing or a weird domain name like Wycliffe Associates with a Z if it was our account.
Right.
This is actually their email address actually coming from their account, so it's very hard to see what's going on.
Right. You could be getting an email from one of our overseas partners. You could be getting an email from one of your kids. You could be getting an email from some other business that you do business with. And it's not going to have any of the obvious telltale signs that we've trained you all to look for because it's literally coming from that account on that server. And it could be used to exploit you. And so we wanted to bring this to your attention.
Yep.
So,
just to add more to the context of how big of a deal it is, our Microsoft rep emailed us twice, and I assume all of his other customers, and needed a response back that we don't have on-prem.
yeah.
And so in addition to that, they didn't release the patch on Patch Tuesday. Usually they release patches once a month on Patch Tuesday.
Yeah.
They decided to just release this immediately because they were seeing more and more people exploiting it.
Yeah.
The thought is initially it was a nation state, like a big country, that put this together. But then hackers figured out how to reverse engineer it. And so once Microsoft puts out the patches, they can get the patches and see what the patch fixed and then go after it. So they're seeing a lot of nefarious hacking organizations, not just the original nation state actor using this now.
Yeah, so let's talk about the details of how this would be used to harm people or an organization. So the classic exploit that you may be aware of is, let's talk about it from like a real estate standpoint. Okay, I'm buying a home and I'm interacting with my realtor by email. And of course, when you buy a home and you sign the contract, you have to then wire transfer, a significant deposit on the home. Now, if my realtor's email has been compromised, the realtor may not even realize it's been compromised. And the people who are compromising it are watching those emails. They're not literally watching those emails one at a time, but they've got scripts that watch for certain words in the email, like closing or wire transfer. And when that happens, what they'll do is they will start sending emails as if they are the realtor and say, oh, Matt, actually, I want you to wire transfer the money to this account over here. And of course, that account is not the bank that expects to receive your funds so you can buy your home. And off you go, wire transferring 20 or 30% of the home's price to some wire transfer account that is, of course, going to then take your money and it's gone.
Yep.
So again, the fear is that you will see an email. It doesn't have any of the telltale signs. It's legitimately an email from this person that you have email traffic with, but they direct you to do some financial transaction, or some other information will be taken from you, like your social security number or something like that, and be used for problems down track.
Yep. And so in the past, we've told you to be careful about emails coming from strange email addresses that you don't recognize. But in this case, that's not good enough anymore, and it's probably not going to be good enough for quite a while. So be on the lookout for emails that you weren't expecting, even from people that you trust and you email regularly, asking you to do some kind of action. Open a file, send money to a different account than you were expecting, etc. So
Right.
we're going to have to turn up the paranoia a notch.
Yeah, I hate to do that, and
Right.
yet really this is a time when it's possible that you really could receive an email that would be seeking to exploit you. And so we just wanted to, I think I like how you said that, we just need to turn the paranoia up a notch. So a great way to do that would be if you get an email from somebody and they're asking you to do something, you might want to pick up the phone and give them a call and say, hey Matt, was this really from you? Because this email says that I should do something and that seems unusual. All the classic schemes, oh, I've got this big problem and I need you to send me some money. All those things are going to be, much more possible now, because I can now use literally your email account to send that to somebody. So we just wanted you to be aware, be on the lookout, don't fall victim to fraud, especially because it's going to look even more realistic than it has in the past.
Yep.
Any other final thoughts before we go?
No, thank you guys for being our line of defense against threats. We can do all of our firewall rules and everything, but in this case, the firewall wouldn't have helped. So we need you to be on the lookout and keep WA safe.
Yeah, the most important line of defense that we have is users who are thoughtful, and you will never get an instruction from us that if you say, well, I'm not sure about this, I want to call you guys and double check. We don't mind that at all. In fact, we are very happy if you want to reach out to us. You get an email from one of our team, Andrew or Matt or somebody else that says, hey, you need to update your antivirus or whatever. It's totally fine. If you want to directly email one of us or call in, we're happy to do that. It's no problem at all. We love that people have a posture of saying, well, I want to be safe and secure online, so let me double check.
Absolutely.
All right, that's it. Thanks, everybody. Don't forget to tune in later for our software showcase with Craig Oliver. We're going to be talking about the processing that happens between WAX and putting it onto Bible in every language. It's going to be a good one. Thanks for your attention. Bye-bye.